Rupamatra Kurvana Tejasaha Daivachovitat Rasamatram Bhut Tasmat Ambaha Shiva Sagraha Rupamatra Vikurvana Tejasodavichovitat Rasamatram Bhut Tasmat Rupamatra Vikurvana Tejasodavichovitat Rasamatram Bhut Tasmat Ambo Jiva Sagraha Rupamatra Vikurvana Tejasodavichovitat Rasamatram Bhut Tasmat Ambo Jiva Sagraha
Rupamatra Vikurvanat Tejaso Devakchoditat Rasamatram Bhutasmad Ambo Jiva Rasagraha
Rupamatra Vikurvanat Tejaso Daivachovitat Rasamatram Bhutasmad Ambo Jiva Rasagraha
Rupamatra Vikurvanat
Tejaso Daiva Choditat Rasamatram Abhutasmat Ambo Jiva Rasagraha
Rupam Hatrad Vikurvanat Tejaso Daiva Choditat Rasam Hatram Habhutasmad Ambo Jiva Rasagraha.
Rupa Matra Vikurvanat Jaya Sudaiva Shodita Rasa Matra Nahutasmad Ambo Jiva Rasagraha.
Rupa Mantra, which evolves from the subtle element form. Vikurvanat, undergoing transformation. Tejasaha, from fire. Daivachodita, under a superior arrangement. Rasamatram, the subtle element taste. Abhut, became manifested. Tasmad, from that. Ambaha, water. Jiva, the sense of taste. Rasagraha, which perceives taste. Translation. By the interaction of fire and the visual sensation, the subtle element taste evolves under a superior arrangement. From taste, water is produced, and the tongue, which perceives taste, is also manifested. Purport, someone can read.
The tongue is described here as the instrument for acquiring knowledge of taste. Because taste is a product of water, there is always saliva on the tongue.
How the Lord is designing the whole material world and the spiritual world. Spiritual world is always manifest, it's never unmanifest, it's eternal. So the spiritual world has all these senses and sense objects, sensations are always there. And the devotees of the Lord can partake of them without cessation. In the material world there is cessation. Everything has a birth, a beginning and a middle and an end, or even six stages, Shadvikar. It takes birth, grows, sustains offspring, dwindling, and death. But in the spiritual world, there's none of those. There's no offspring. There's no need for offspring because everyone is living there eternally. The reason we have offspring here in the material world is because these bodies wear out. They're not meant to last so long. So it's troublesome for the living entities in the material world to have to keep changing bodies. But they don't see it as trouble, they make it a celebration. They celebrate when the child comes into the world, and they lament when the living entity leaves this body. But all these things are lamenting and celebrating and trying to enjoy. It's not possible because the material world is not a place for enjoyment. It's a place for Kalayama Shashvatam, place for suffering. Well, some may say, well, there's a lot of enjoyment too. A lot of enjoyment, but it's like in the drama field. If you're analyzing a drama or a theater play, you have to judge how it ends up. If it ends up with everyone dying on the stage, that means it was a tragedy. That's not a very happy situation. Even if there are some troubles and difficulties, if it ends up that everyone lives happily ever after, that's a successful story that's happy. So, the material world is a tragedy for everyone. When one gets out of the material world, that's great. And Dhammakarmachamaya Divyam Vejitattva Sakvadeham Punarjam Naiti Mamiti Sarjana. Krishna says that one who knows the transcendental nature of his appearance and his activities doesn't have to take birth again. When he gives up this body, he returns, he assumes or regains his transcendental form. That's the real form of the living entity. Swarup, Sarupena Vivastiti. That's the eternal happy state of the living entity. Now everyone's trying to be happy here by trying to imitate the spiritual world. The spiritual world's eternal and no one gets old and dies. So we're trying to do that here with cosmetics and exercises and things. But it doesn't work because these bodies are simply not meant to live forever. But we're so busy trying and frustrated. But nobody takes the time to think, why do we have to die? You ask anyone that, what's their reply? Have any good replies? Why we have to die? No, because there is no good reason for dying. You have to do it because you're being forced. Sometimes they say there can't be death, there can't be God because if there was God, why would there be death? Why would there be so many miserable things like hurricanes and cyclones? And that's a good reason for proof that there is God, because He told us how to live life free from misery. We didn't do it, and now we're getting punished. That's what's supposed to happen. It's like if you find out that there's a law enforcement office in your area, and they give certain laws, rules and regulations to follow, and they're very strict about it. So then if someone gets arrested for doing some misdemeanor, and the law office, they put him in jail for some time. Then if he says, this proves there's no real law enforcement office. Oh, why would they do this to me? I'm a good citizen. No. You didn't follow the laws and now you get punished. That means there is law. There is persons in charge. Similarly, God exists and He has His 33 crores. If you calculate 33 crores, it comes out 330 million. Sometimes it's called 33 million. But anyway, He has a big staff. All those demigods, and there's sub assistants in the different departments. They have their particular services. Like Yamaraj. Yamaraj he's in charge of the punishment. Those who don't follow the law, they have to see Yamaraj. And Yamaraj has his assistant. Anyone knows his assistant's name?
Yamadutas?
Yeah, he has Yamadutas, but he also has, there's he keeps track of all the law, all the activities. If someone breaks the law, it's written down. And then he's judged according to, and Yamaraj is a wonderful judge because he's almost omniscient. We say almost because he's not as omniscient as Lord. The Supreme Lord Krishna is totally omniscient. But Yamaraj, because he has such important work to do, practically on the level of Vishnu, he's given nearly omniscient. He knows what's going on. He knows what people did. He's got witnesses. The sun is a witness. The moon is a witness. Stars, all different. They say, well, don't they ever testify in favor of it? Yes, they also do. If someone's behaved well, and they take note of that and give them good credit. And the credit is, if he performs really nicely, he doesn't have to take birth again in this material world, but he goes back to home, back to Godhead, to live a life of pure bliss. It doesn't make any sense why anyone would neglect getting such an opportunity to live eternally with the Lord and his friends, his colleagues, he has his relatives, his friends, and they're all performing their duties. Of course, there's no duty actually for the Lord, but still he likes to engage in pastimes. So call them pastimes. And they're very enjoyable. People like to engage in pastimes without being forced or ordered. They like to happily do these things. That's why we find that even people when they get old, they still try to find some leisure time playing golf and trying to enjoy relaxing with friends. They don't go generally with their enemies to a game of golf or something. So we have to conclude that this world is really in a difficult state because there's nobody trying to figure out how to solve the problem of death. Or you might say they're trying, but in the wrong way. They think they're making progress. They say, we're coming close. I remember seeing an article once, many years ago, and it said, by such and such a year, like 20 years later down the road, death will be obsolete. Use a nice sophisticated word like obsolete. But death is still with us and not doing badly. It seems to be picking up steam because now we have such weapons of mass destruction. How can that be benefit? How can that be such pleasure? How can you bring your children into this world and say, now today we're going to talk about all the bombs that are, missiles that are pointing this direction, and how much are they calculated in terms of how much explosive power is. You might say, I don't want to hear that. It's terrible. So we're giving you This is your inheritance. Don't worry, we have a nice inheritance waiting. All these bombs pointing at each other's head. And you might say, well, but they have the good sense not to fire them. It's just kind of a way to stop them from misbehaving. So they threaten each other, but they don't really use it. Sometimes they do use it. And they're very, very destroying. Destroy the whole, not the whole world because they don't have that much power. But still they can do a lot of damage. A lot of people have to go through suffering. So why not get free from the suffering, live a good life? No one knows what a good life is. They don't know how to live a good life now. Because the leaders have misled so badly that they've set such a poor example of how to live. And therefore we see that the leaders, their lifestyle is being emulated by the others. As Krishna states that in Bhagavad Gita, that whatever action is performed by a great man, common men follow in his footsteps. And whatever standards he sets by exemplary acts, all the world pursues. I mentioned this before, but I remember when I was young, little boy, every Sunday we'd go on and watch the TV, and the President of the United States would go to church. He walked in. They had him. Walked in with his family. It didn't matter who was the president. This is their duty, because they had to lead people on the right path to respecting God, at least, believing in God, not to speak of loving God. So that was a good thing, because it made us think, well, I want to go to church. I want to go. What do they do there? President goes there, must be good. Well, this is how. And now they don't go. They take him, maybe film him doing some other things, but not going to church. I haven't been watching lately. Maybe the things have changed. Do they show him going to church? Do they show that? I don't watch TV. That's good. Anyway, God wants us to be good citizens, be good friends of His, or relatives of His, servants of His. He'll even play the part of the son of Krishna. And He wants everyone to be happy. And the material world, although it's not perfectly designed to be happy, one can live a happy life here if he does it according to Krishna's instructions, according to God's orders. He can live a happy life. And he'll still have to give up this body. But once giving up this body, he won't have to take birth again. And when he gives up this body, as Prabhupada was demonstrating once, he gave a class, he simply closes his eyes, and when he opens, for a devotee, when he opens his eyes, he's in the land of Krishna. He looks. So very easy, simple, not so bad. Of course, sometimes it's made to sound like a horrible thing. And there may be some horrible aspects to it. But for a devotee, everything's made nice. Just like if the president of a country, he's going to visit another country. So there's all kinds of, he has to go through A normal person has to go through all kinds of searching. They search him, they check him out, and he has so many people watching him and making sure he doesn't do anything. But for the king or for the president, all these things are waived because they trust that he's going to behave properly. They don't have to worry about it. So there's no need to worry about the devotees because they're acting according to the Lord's plan. And they never do anything different in the Lord's plan. We see example of Arjuna. He was being told that he had to fight against Kauravas because they were disobeying the Dharma, they were acting improperly. Arjuna he didn't want to do that. He finally agreed to do it when he understood that it was Krishna's desire. Any questions or? Yes.
Maharaj, I wanted to ask, just as we discussed that in the material world, we go through 6 transformations, birth, and then you grow and, stay for some time and all that. And also there is birth, death, old age, and disease. So this is all coming within the limitation of a time. So in the spiritual world, I just wanted to know if there is any time factor present, or how does everything work?
Is there a time present?
Time factor, yeah.
Time exists by its absence. Mm-hmm. Yeah. In other words, there's no time because material time destroys everything. Krishna says, time I am, destroyer of the world. But yet in the spiritual world, there's also a feeling, a happy feeling of time. That's the difference. The time in the material world takes everything away and destroys everything. The time in the spiritual world is eternal and makes it better and happier, and there's no end. I think I'll stop here. If you want to carry on, I think Jagannath has had.
So the question was, what was the point? Why do people say that they can't be God? Because they're God, how can you do some horrible thing? Cause babies to be killed and people to be killed and tsunamis. So must not be God. And they developed that type of a way of thinking. So I don't care what the Bible says, I don't care what Jesus says, I don't care what anybody says, there's no death, there's no hell. It's not possible, there's no God. But it proves that there is God. Now if everything's chaotic and people did bad things, but there was good things, good actions, and might make point that there is no God. And that's what they try to do. They say it's proof there's no God because you see, bad things happen to good people and good things happen to bad people. So that means chaos. No. It means you don't know what their karma was, what they did previously. Like if you enter a courtroom, just when the judge is making his final decision, he's giving his verdict on a particular person who is alleged to have performed some crime. So the judge says, you're sentenced to 5 years in jail. Case dismissed. So then, walk on. Somebody just walked in and saw that, what a horrible thing. This judge put that nice young man in prison for 5 years. Well, why did he do that? It's terrible. It's not terrible. You have to know what he did, what the criminal did. And if you'd seen the earlier part of the court scene, you would have heard what the evidence was. So that's the idea, that everything is proof that there are persons in control. You can't say that order, since the universe is so well organized, there must be no one in control. That goes against logic, it goes against our experience. And it goes against scripture, so there's no evidence of such a thing. You can't prove it, you can't prove there's no one in charge. But rather, proof things to go the other way. Thank you. Oh, Yamaraj, there's a question about Yamaraj. He's a Jew, so, because when he was at the post, when he was, he got in trouble once for making he considered a sage to be guilty of a crime when he was a little child, a young boy, that he gave punishment. He allowed suffering to a little insect. And because of that, Yamaraj punished him, that he would have a spear go through his body. And so when that punishment was given, the sage wanted to find out from Yamaraj why he done this, why did he give him such a harsh punishment. And it turned out that when he found out it was just something he had done as a boy. So then Yamaraj, the sage cursed Yamaraj, that no, this is a very poor judgment. a child does so many foolish things he doesn't have intelligence. He shouldn't be punished severely. He might be admonished and told to do better next time, but not severe punishment like that. So because of that, he thought, you know, I'm going to go taste his own medicine. So he got sentenced to have to stay in the world for 125 years. But he used that time very wisely and pitched he got this form of Vidura. The great Vidura called Saint Vidura. He's such a great personality. In Mahabharata, he's one of the most important and certainly one of the most pious